Hello, my farming friends. So our last frost date was April 23rd. This is 4 days past the last frost date. And today we had a very mild day. It was about 70 degrees. And I know we're all tempted to begin planting our warm, loving vegetables right now, as soon as the frost date is passed. Don't do it. You'll regret it. You may get lucky in 1 year, but there'll be a year where all of your plants will get zapped out because there'll be an unexpected frost. So you need to wait at least 2 weeks after your last frost date before you begin planting your warm, loving vegetables and flowers. So we're going to take a walk today. This is going to be the frost date garden tour, the last frost date garden tour, so that you could see what's happening in the garden. Even though the warm, loving vegetables aren't in the ground yet, it doesn't mean that we haven't been productive. So we have been productive because we have our cold hardies and we have other perennial plants that are also beginning to come to life, and so that we can prepare for those harvests as well. So let's go take a walk. The first thing I want to show you is I'm up here on my deck and I have a lot of my pots out ready to go. So I have them filled with soil and I'm getting ready to plant the worms into them. Oh, I should go a little slower there. But here you could see I have some cold hardy here and I have them under cover of some netting. And here we have some cabbage, Chinese cabbage, which is looking beautiful. And so that was started indoors and then we planted it outside about a month ago. So it's doing really well. And then you could see in the back here are some carrots. So I have a lot of pests and I really try not to use, pest control items. Even though they're safe for people, I really try to avoid it. So I cover when I can so that, I can try to eliminate the carrot fly and the cabbage worm. So I want to kind of take you over here so you can get a bird's eye view of what we're doing. We've started construction. Might be hard to see. Oh, let me see. This camera's not. Here we go. So you could see that we started digging some post holes and things like that. That's where the future chicken run is going to be. So we're really excited about that. Here is another raised bed on the deck. And this is where I have all of my shallots. So it doesn't look like a lot, but I gotta tell you, I have about 80 shallots in there, and then I have a couple celery here. They're close to the house, so they're able to survive. That's like a tender cold hardy, so you can't put them out the same time as some of the other cold hardies. And then we'll give a bird's eye view over here as well, and then we'll go down and take a closer look. It may not be able to see it, but we've cut some trees down, and soon you can see all of those wood racks will have wood that we're going to be splitting. And then way in the distance, you can see some grow bags that have potatoes. Now, what's interesting about this dogwood is that we're 4 days past our last frost date. Nature is amazing. 2 days after the last frost date, this thing was covered in blooms. So let's go downstairs and take a closer look. So here you can see all the post holes. We're going to be building an 8x16 chicken run. So I'm quite excited about it. And you can see some framing up there as well. And then here, I wanted to show you this. These are crocus. These are the Saffron Crocus. And everyone knows a crocus blooms in the spring, very early spring. It's one of the first flowers. But these will not bloom until the fall. And that's when we will harvest the stamens for the saffron. And so this whole bed is full of Saffron Crocus. And then it looks like there's some garlic plants in there too, because I had extra garlic seeds and of course I didn't want to waste them, so I stuck them all over the place. Here we have wood racks, and they'll all be full before you know it. Here I have my German butterball potatoes that I planted a couple of weeks ago, so I should start seeing some greenery soon. I'm going to take you into the woods a little bit. see the trees have all been taken down. So we're going to have to process them, split them, get them stacked and ready for winter. And then here is my compost heap. Every garden should have a compost heap. So I have the 3-bin method. So back here, that's my fully composted product. This one's about halfway through. Whoops, I'm spinning around. And then this is just new material. Here we have the Greenstalk number 1. It has regular peas. And then over here is Greenstalk number 2 that has sugar snap peas. We also have more potatoes growing over here. These are the Lehi's and, you know, the dark red. These are New England varieties. And then I also have, I think this is caribou. Yeah, caribou in there. So, and then we have a little bit, we have some flowers that we just started. Not too many flowers right now, it's still too cold. Here I have some fencing set up. I'm probably going to do butternut squash or cantaloupe, something like that there. Here are some other planters that are getting ready to be put in. And then here, let me go behind first. So I have plants all over the place. So here, this is my garlic patch. I have about 80 garlic there. These are my onions. And I have videos on these things, videos on the potatoes, videos on, you know, the onions, how to grow big onions. So there's about almost 200 plants in this little patch right here. And then let's go into, this is actually the little fortress here. So you can see here I have 2 big raised beds and they're 11 feet by 3 feet. So in here I get more than 100 plants that I put in here. I practice square foot gardening, and then I do succession planting as well. So, you know, we're able to keep this very productive. Here you can see some yellow beets have started. I put in a few onions here and there. They were extra. They didn't really fit in the bed, but I kind of put them in for companion planting and to help deter pests. Looks like there's a carrot right there. And, you know, we have some bunching onions here. And then in here, to keep that cabbage worm away, I have some broccoli. And then I have some more yellow beets here. And then way back here, I just stuck in some onions here and there. And so this, in about a couple of weeks, I must have 250 plants inside the house ready to come out. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be filling this whole bed up. So it'll be quite amazing when we're done. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you a whiplash there. So here, these are my cranberry bushes. And I have 2 of them here. And I hope they survive the winter. We had a terrible winter. Last year, they were loaded with green berries. And I was waiting for them to turn red. And all of a sudden, all of them were gone. So an animal came and ate all the green berries. So I'm going to have to make sure I cover them. And then here's the garden tower project 2. And it's full of strawberries. Here's a little planter that I use to put things in that I want to go to seed. So you can see I have a couple onions there, and I'll probably put in a celery and a cabbage and some other things that I want to go to seed. And I kind of keep it away from the rest of the garden. And so this way I can try to collect as many seeds as I can. And then of course things like tomatoes and peppers, you know, they're easier to collect because you don't have to wait for it to bolt. Here are a variety of mint that I have. And I kind of keep them over here. And they do really well, as you can see. This one is a mojito mint. It's just starting to come up. And these are 2 new plants that I just bought, so they were already this large, so I just transplanted them out here. And then this is a spearmint. This is a chocolate mint, and this is a grapefruit mint. So I'm curious to see the differences. Then I'm going to have a video soon coming out where we had 7 or 8 ornamental shrubs that we pulled out, and I'm going to create a micro um, fruit trees. So here is one of them came already. That's called the cocktail fruit tree, and apparently it has grafts where it has plums, nectarines, peaches. They say it's self-pollinating, but most fruit trees need more than 1 tree to be successful. So we'll see how that goes. But I have a couple pear trees that are coming as well. And then what I'll be doing here too, even though this looks ornamental, I plant pumpkins in here. I'll be planting watermelon in here, and they'll grow in between, you know, the other items. This is lemon thyme. And then I have some other pots here getting ready. What I do is I have to plant my hot peppers away from the sweet peppers, because if I plant them close together, they'll cross-pollinate and your hot peppers will be sweet and your sweet peppers could be hot. So last year, some of my sweet became hot, and then a friend of mine said that her hot were sweet. So I usually keep the hot up here. I have some asparagus growing here, and I'm going to be moving this in the fall. There's some coming up right there. There's another one there. So I'm going to be moving all of this. I'm going to create a special bed just for asparagus. Then I want to show you, I have some other herbs up here too. So this is regular thyme. Now, see how pretty that plant is? So this is an ornamental bed. Here's my chives. They're a perennial as well. And my sage is just starting to come back to life. And this is oregano. So 1 plant of each really keeps me in business. I have tons of herbs, and I dry them, I crush them up, I save them, and I really don't have any problem. And we're having some construction work going on, so it might be a little dirty over here. So again, extra garlic. I didn't want to waste it. So you can see I lined it all up over here. And these are my blueberry bushes. This is year 3 of the blueberry bushes, and they're really getting full of blooms. Oh, look at, let me see if I can get in there. You can see them. Oh, wait. Oh, can't get them. Hold on. There's a bee resting. Let's see if I can get him. Yeah, I can't get him. And then here's another blueberry bush that's loaded. And this one's a little taller than the others, but it's doing really well. Whoops, sorry. Kind of went a little berserko there. And this is just a few extra strawberries that I just put in the pot. And then here are some more pots getting ready for something for me to plant. Here is Blackberry Raspberry Alley. So this is where all the plants are. We had ornamental bushes here as well, and we ripped them all out, and we put all these fruit bushes in its place. And then we're kind of circled back. So that is the first tour of the season. This is our last for us April garden tour, and in about a month we'll do our May tour, and we'll see how we're progressing. So we'll see you later, my farming friends.